Dynamite.
Good evening, gamers. I am KoR DevilZR06, and I'm back to give you your honest review of a very welcome game, The Evil Within. Right from the start, this game wastes no time in plunging into its convoluted yet compelling story. You take on the role of protagonist Sebastian Castellanos as he is quickly forced into a world inhabited by murderous creatures called the Haunted. And you immediately learn that you need to think on your feet to survive, as ammo is not a common commodity in this game. Even though you can fashion bolts for your crossbow you'll get later by using components you get for disarming the various traps around the morbid and blood-soaked landscapes meant to maim and or kill you. Throughout the game, you gain access to a number of weapons such as shotguns, hand cannons, and even a machine gun and a rocket launcher if you complete the game. However, all of these weapons will mean nothing without a bit of tinkering. The upgrade system is accessed through a very mysterious mirror world in which you sit in a chair I can only describe as a very therapeutic resignation. Once in the upgrade menu, you can upgrade everything Sebastian can do or interact with, such as increasing the amount of health you get when using syringes, or the damage output of your weapons, or the distance you can sprint without getting winded. And that being said, the only way you could really dish out the hurting your enemies is not through melee, but with weapons, stealth kills, or using traps that were meant to maim or kill you against them. Melee is only used as a last resort here. This game is graphically detailed and streamlined. The sounds of the gore really fill the dead air as you traverse the grisly surroundings looking for that tiny glimmer of hope, but never seem to find it, really making you feel uneasy and unnerved right before you hear the sound of the shuffling feet and that chainsaw revving, waiting to really give you a nasty metallic taste in your mouth. It really is all present, and you really have to pay attention to your surroundings if you want to make it through. So don't get too caught up in admiring the scenery, because those eyes won't be on your skull for too long if you stay still. Now, onto the combat system. These enemies are terrifying and deadly, but that doesn't mean you can't fight them, or should you? This game introduces a very human aspect to gaming I felt has been absent for a very long time, and that's the fight or flight mechanic. You can choose to engage, but if you do, you better have a plan. If not, you can use stealth to get around your enemies, but be ready, because if they spot you, they will alert their nearby allies and attack you in groups, causing you to have to think even faster. If you're running for your life, keep your eyes open for those traps, because they will slow you down and put you in the way of a very gruesome death. Besides the regular horrors you'll be facing off against, you'll be facing terrifying bosses such as the Keeper, the Shrieking Woman, and the Quell. These will not be easy, as you'll be facing them in usually close quarters and presumably with very limited resources, so put on your thinking caps. This game has a lot of positive on its side, but perhaps one of the most frustrating aspects is simply the controls. The controls are very clunky and feels as if you're trying to control an obese man with a drinking problem. This will get you into more trouble than you get out of, and some of the stealth sequences are unnecessary and frustrating. But don't let that deter you. Just think of it as part of the game's learning curve, because there is more of the game that should draw you to it. In closing, this game is a truly terrifying experience. I clocked in 17.5 hours to complete the campaign, and that included a bit of exploring at the expense of a good night's rest. It produces a world that will bring your greatest phobias to life. Maybe fear of deep water. Who knows what's hiding in the deep? Fear of enclosed spaces, fear of the dark, fear of spiders, mirrors, screeching women, killer clowns. Whatever it is, it's coming for you, and you have to outsmart it and kill it before it kills you. And to top it off, there's also replay incentive. So once you beat it, give it another go with your unlocks, such as that machine gun or that rocket launcher we mentioned earlier. This game is really walking the line. I recommend it as a buy for hardcore survival horror fans, but a definite try for the casual gamer. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you find it helpful if you didn't know how to steer towards this game. If you already own it, feel free to message my gamer tag for tips and tricks. Happy Halloween, gamers.